Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, my name is Diaz, author of the Titus Concept and producer of the film called Beyond Hope. Welcome, everyone, to an amazing show called Illumine AO, a show that will inspire and empower as many people as possible, including myself, trigger shift and change, ascension through love, raise levels of awareness, discover new dimensions that represent liberation, shatter what no longer serves us for our best and highest good, the freeing of our heart for our own personal greatness, awaken in a gentle, loving, and creative way as possible, love towards all and self, and most importantly, know that we are the essence of the creator of all creation. Today we have my good friend Patty Alfonso, who is a catalyst for transformation, empowering facilitator, leader, actor, and writer. Patty Alfonso is known for her unique ability to be aware of the gift in all situations. Using the tools of access consciousness has helped her reconnect to her infinite being. She can instinctively perceive, know, and be anything she chooses in this reality. Knowing that everyone is an infinite being, Patty has made it her target to assist others in having radical awareness of their own gifts, generating dynamic change for themselves and contributing to the consciousness of this reality. She often asks, what would it take for everyone to know they are a gift and contribution to the world? What would we be able to create then? Is that phenomenal or what? Patty and I will share insights on radical awareness. First, a couple of announcements. Continue to check back here on Blog Talk Radio and Illumine our host page for upcoming shows and co-hosts. And if you'd like to see and hear me speak in your area, go to illumine-ao.com for contact info. Would you like to know what your purpose is? How about your natural-born gift that brings added value into your own life? If so, contact me at al.diazforlove@gmail.com. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Patty. Patty, welcome.
Hi, Al. Thank you so much for having me on here again. I'm so excited.
That's awesome. And to be honest with you, I'm glad that you're on the show again. I love your energy. I love what you represent. I love the fact that you're guiding others to move forward. Everything about you, is phenomenal. And I'm sure we're going to be talking about our event, in a few weeks. But just who you are, and just before we went on the air, I even told you, thank you for being who you are. So thank you.
Thank you. And what a gift it is to hold that space, not only for yourself, but for everyone around you. Thank you for being you, whatever that is, whatever that means, whatever that looks like. It's so amazing to be surrounded by people who genuinely, with just kindness in their heart and gratitude and lovingness in their heart, genuinely appreciate and love you for you. I mean, how does it get better than that, right? So thank you. Thank you for you being you. Thank you for everyone listening, for showing up, for being you. And thank you to myself.
Absolutely. That's the most important person, actually. So
yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so Patty, to you, what is awareness?
Awareness, radical awareness. As an infinite being, which you mentioned when you introduced me, as an infinite being, we have the innate ability to perceive, know, and be anything and everything in this reality. So to me, awareness is that, the ability to perceive it in any situation. And awareness has this very sort of light and expansive sensation to it. When you're in a situation and let's say you're having a conversation with someone and they're saying something to you, but the energy is kind of a little wonky. So your awareness of that energy allows you to perceive what is really being said beyond the physical, like the actual words. So, like I said, just the ability to perceive, know, and be everything beyond what this reality is presenting, which, is usually some sort of lie that we've created or some sort of judgment or projection that's being put onto us. And the judgment, the projection, that's like the wonky kind of heavy energy. Whereas when you pull back and allow yourself to perceive beyond that, and it becomes lighter and more expansive, then that is awareness. What is true for you is your awareness.
Would you say that we came? Would you say that we came here with that gift of awareness? Were we born with that, or do we have to quote unquote relearn it?
As an infinite being, you have it. You have it. It is something that you come into this reality with. And I think that through life experiences and through time, you know, and the way that this reality is set up, it's set up to make you question your awareness and to not trust your awareness. But it is something that we absolutely all have. And yes, it's, I don't know if relearning is the correct way to put it. Clearing away.
I prefer remembering.
Yeah, exactly. Clearing away the limitations and the lies that have been imposed upon you so that you can allow that sort of light to be and to shine, that kind of awareness just to be in your being.
I got a killer question to ask you here, and I'm going to tell you, my audience knows about this, and because I almost repeat it in every show. The first 40 years of my life, I lived through ego. I was on a roller coaster ride, and then as my early 40s, I started this journey to become more fully aware. My question to you is, and I'm kind of directing it at myself too, is why in the heck would I forget my awareness? Why would I let it go? Why would I discard it, so easily when it would have made my life so much simpler? Why do we forget it? What's the purpose of that?
Well, what do you know about that, Al? What do you know about that?
Well, for me personally, it's because I accepted everything around me as either consciously or unconsciously as truth. And in reality, it wasn't. But and I think to myself, how silly. How silly the fact that I was already gifted. And I'm going to use your terminology. I'm an infinite being, and yet I decided to bury that and live everybody else's truth, everybody else's opinions, everybody else's thoughts.
Yeah.
And
so
I'm
this is actually. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're blown away by.
Yeah,
well,
I'm just blown away I'm blown away that I've actually would have let all that go, and it's not just me. It's like a good portion of humanity.
Exactly, and this is actually really brings us into the event that we're going to be doing. So, yes, we are all born as infinite beings, and we all have this capacity, and we all come in with this infinite awareness, right? And so, in my experience, what I've seen with clients and with people and with the classes and everything that I've done is exactly what you're describing. So we come in with all of this, and then life experiences happen, and somewhere along the line, we start choosing against ourselves. We start choosing what that other person thinks is the correct thing to do for us. And this is where the part of being radically aware, stepping beyond sabotage and adversity into greatness. So what I choose to define adversity as is that, like when you step into your greatness and you're really showing up you, big and beautiful and amazing and potent and powerful in the world, and you start creating what you would like to create, there are going to be people that are going to come up and be like, yeah, I don't know about that, and ew, what are you doing, and that's really weird, and who do you think would want to learn that? So then there's all this stuff that comes up, which are really those people's projections of what they are not willing to receive. So what happens in that situation? What do you do for you in that situation? And yes, many of us have chosen to just go back and be small and not choose what we came here to choose. And this is exactly the kind of stuff that I really, really would like to empower people during our workshop, is to give them the tools to handle that kind of quote-unquote adversity that is going to come up once you start stepping into your greatness. Because the bottom line is that in this moment, the world absolutely requires everyone to step into their greatness. We are at a pivotal time in history, and it requires Al to step into his greatness, and Matt, and Patty, and every single person that is listening to this call right now. It's just what's required right now. So let's empower people with the tools that will help them and guide them to continue to step into that.
Patty, that's well said. That's awesome. So, okay, so now let me speak on behalf of the audience. So, and let's say I'm speaking for somebody and they're going, but Patty and Al, this is my life. This is the cards I was dealt with. Seems normal to me. Yeah, everybody has issues and problems and obstacles and hurdles and difficulties, and I'm one of them. This is normal. This is how it's supposed to be. How do you respond to that person, and how do we get them to wake up?
What is normal? What is that? And this is what you're choosing in these 10 seconds. What would you like to choose in the next 10 seconds? Look, I chose to be unaware for a really long period of my life. I came in as this exuberant, child full of life and energy. My desire when I was 3 or 4, when people would ask me what I wanted to be when I grew up, was I want to be a combination between Marilyn Monroe and Mother Teresa. And people laughed.
Yeah.
They laughed, right? Marilyn Monroe and Mother Teresa, hello. People laughed at me like, are you crazy? Like, what is that, And I held on to that for a long time, but once you get met with so much resistance and you start believing it, I chose to believe that. I went down a path of, to shut myself off because it was like not real, but what I was choosing in that moment was that it was too much, and that was too much, and that I couldn't be that in this reality. I went down a path of drugs and alcohol and complete unawareness. Yet I still had that little voice that kept saying, if you don't stop doing this, you're not going to create what you came here to create. And you know what? I had that voice for like a year before I actually chose to listen to it. But that was my choice. And if I can make that choice, I promise that everyone can make that choice. It is just about choosing it. That's all. And once I made the choice to listen to that voice, then I had to take the appropriate steps, not appropriate, but just like follow the path that was laid out in front of me. Get sober, go to energy healing school. Okay, what's next after that? Find access consciousness. Okay, what's next after that? Create this class and that class and collaborate and just get out there. And like I said, if I can do it, I think anyone can do it. I think anyone can do it. And the truth is that I'm just beginning. I've created so much in my life, and I am just starting out. I am always in the question of what else is possible and how does it get better than this. And right now, really what I'm asking is, what would it take for me to make everyone uncomfortable? And being aware of that energy and being with that energy with myself, like, wow, can I really make people uncomfortable? Heck yeah. And is that going to create consciousness and change in the world? Heck yeah. So I'm going to choose it. And I've got some stuff coming up that's going to be really, really, really intense for people. But it's going to create a ton of joy and a ton of consciousness for those people who choose to choose it. So all I can say is, just keep showing up. Keep showing up. Keep choosing and keep showing up. And I do have to thank Access Consciousness, Gary Douglas, Dane here, and everyone in Access Consciousness for the tools that have been created that are allowing me to step into this greatness, and that I can provide for others as well who are willing to choose and listen so that they can step into their greatness, because it is absolutely required.
to listen to that inner voice that you speak of, and that inner voice, and the natural state of being for the universe. And it doesn't matter if it's a star, a planet, an animal, a tree, a flower, a human, or whatever, is to move forward or to make progress or to evolve.
Mm-hmm.
That's even bacteria grows. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we're all here to expand. That's our natural
Mm-hmm.
state of being. And it's when we stay still and do nothing, that's when we begin to die. Or if we step backwards,
You
we
die.
begin to die. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
our natural way is to evolve, to keep moving forward. And I want to go back to now to listening to your inner voice. When you listen to that inner voice telling you, move forward, do something new, do something different, do something fresh, it's because that's the way to be. You are here to keep moving forward. You are here to make progress. You are here to evolve. And by listening to that inner voice, then you know that you're moving forward because you're doing something new. You're doing something different. You're doing something for yourself to be better. So here's my question to you, Patty. How do you know what inner voice to listen to? Because I know I for a while there I was listening to my ego and I thought it was my inner voice, but it wasn't. How do you get the clarity to what inner voice?
Yes, a couple things about this. First, it's about following the energy. What is true for you and what is going to be, again, true for you is going to feel light. Light, open, expansive, airy. What is not true for you is going to feel heavy. You're going to feel a contraction in your body. It's just heavy. Judgment, when you judge someone, that feels heavy. So that inner voice is directly correlated to the energy. And it's not just about your inner voice. It's just like, okay, what is you were talking about nature, and it's always growing and giving. So what are the possibilities that the universe can provide? And when those possibilities start showing up, you tune into the energy. What is this going to create for my life in 5 years? And if it feels light, you choose it. And if it feels heavy, you continue on to the next thing. So that's a really, really simple, excellent tool that you can use to start making different choices. Now, the second thing, what came up in my universe when you were talking was this reality trains us to be on autopilot. You're born, you have your childhood, your teenage years are supposed to be really crazy, and then, you go to school, and then you go to college, and then you meet your sweetheart, and then after you meet your sweetheart, you get married, and then you get a job, and you have kids. And so that's an autopilot system that's been set up for us to follow, right? And what I want to encourage people in terms of being radically aware, I want you to start becoming aware of where you are functioning in that autopilot mode. I get up every morning and I make my coffee and I brush my teeth and I get in my car and I drive to my work and that, okay? So start noticing that. And in those moments when you notice it and you're like, wow, this is an automatic autopilot response, what could I choose differently here? And choose something different and watch how that is going to start transforming your life. I was coaching someone the other day and they just broke up with their partner and they're having a really hard time. And I said to them, what if you would choose to just be an allowance of what's happening rather than being in resistance of it? And everything that you've ever done in all of your other breakups, I'm going to encourage you to do the opposite with this one and see what that creates for your life. So if your autopilot is to go into the drama of losing the relationship, if your autopilot is to cling to the relationship, if your autopilot is to just be depressed for months and months and months, hey, what would it take for you to make a different choice? Because you're choosing all of those things. And what would that different choice look like? What if you're like, okay, wow, this relationship was awesome and, it's time to move on. What else is possible? What else can I choose and create in this moment? How can this be a contribution to me? And these, again, are, again, a huge thank you to Access Consciousness for the invitation to be in the question about everything in your life. Be in the question. Just asking questions about everything. That opens the energy for something new to come in. And that's what we're wanting, is to create more possibilities in our lives. And everyone can do that. Asking questions like, how does it get better than this? What would it take for this to be different? What contribution can I be in this moment? What contribution can this person be to me? And all of those questions are going to open up your world, and you are going to have so much more awareness. Radical awareness, that's what we're talking about. Awareness of everything that's possible, which is so much more than what our limited mind or even our inner voice can create for us. What is the universe waiting to gift to you so that you can step into your greatness?
It all comes down to choice, and the cool part is we have that freedom if you're willing to tap into that freedom and make decisions and make conscious choices rather than, like you said, living on automatic. And I understand living on automatic. I remember when it was like, okay, day in and day out, it was almost the same thing, day in and day out. And then I woke up and I said, wait a minute, it does not have to be this way. And when you wake up and you understand and you become aware, and I'm not going to tell you that all of a sudden you wake up one morning and you're 100% aware. You evolve. Your awareness just keeps growing and growing. And it's funny. And I don't remember exactly the phrase, but the more you know, the less you really did know. And because here you thought at one time you knew it all, and in reality you knew nothing. Because where your awareness is. I'd like to actually change that phrase. The more you know. What is it that you said? The more you know, the less you know. So let's change that. The more you know, the more you know there is to know. Oh, I like that.
The more you are willing, because there is a willingness here. The more you are willing to be aware of, the more you become aware of how much more there is to be aware. It's like we're an infinite being. You have the ability to be aware of so much more than you think you can. So much more. And what would it take for you to choose that? Because you're an infinite being. You know everything.
Right.
It's just about whether or not you are willing to really show up and claim it and own it and be aware of it. And I say yes. What would it take?
Absolutely.
And everyone that's listening right now and everyone that will listen to this in the future, you have already chosen something different. By the mere fact that you're listening here, you have already chosen it. It is already happening. Embrace it. Be an allowance of it. And what else is possible? Where will the energy take you?
What is the difference in your life now compared to what it once was? What would you say is different?
Everything. Everything. It's possible. Everything is different. My work, the way I show up around people, the way I show up in the world, the way I show up in my relationships. There's a lot more out of control, right? And the sensation of being out of control and not having control over anything creates a level of openness and possibility that I had no idea was possible. And by out of control, for example, I could have sat down and written out what I wanted to talk about today, and I could have planned it out and, I'm going to talk about this, and I'm going to give this tool, and da-da-da-da. But if I did that, I would be controlling the outcome of what this would be. And I just showed up being me, and I'm so happy of what has developed in our conversation now, because it's amazing, and it's more than I could have ever thought out and put on piece of paper. That's out of control. Can I just show up and be me and follow the energy and just be an allowance of what's happening? So I think that's now. Yeah.
I love being out of control. That's how I function. I've never heard it put that way, but I love being out of control.
Yeah. It's amazing. And this reality,
yeah,
this reality really trains us and teaches us to be in control and, plan everything out. And, you're asking a kid at 4, what do they want to do for the rest of their life? Really? They're 4. You ask an 18-year-old, hey, you have to choose your major to figure out your job for the rest of your life. Really? Wow. How many times have I changed my mind about what I want to do with my life? And right now I choose in these 10 seconds. What am I doing in these 10 seconds? Okay, I'll try this. And, bringing it back to what you're saying before, like choice creates awareness. It's not the other way around. People sit around like, okay, well, let me just, think about what's going to create the most possibilities. No, you have to choose something, and then the universe provides you with all of the possibilities, and then you have awareness of what that choice creates, and you're like, wow, does this still feel light to me? And if it's like, nah, it kind of feels heavy, all right, make a different choice. And then what are the possibilities that come up around there? And then, wow, that feels really light. Okay, I'll choose this. And then you live in those 10 seconds. Okay, well, wow, look at these possibilities. Oh, no, that feels kind of heavy. Well, let me choose that. So you just follow the energy. And every time you choose something, it opens up a door, I guess you could say, into an infinite universe of possibilities that you never could have been aware of with your thinking mind.
We're down to the last few minutes, so there's 3 things I want you to address. One of it is talk about our event in Irvine, California, Radical Awareness. Also, any announcements and contact information you want to share. And finally, any final thoughts or comments for our audience.
Sure. So we're doing this phenomenal event, which I'm so excited about, teaming up with you, Al, and with Matt Ritchie, and I just so can't wait to see what we create. It's May 17th at the Temple of Light in Orange County. Check out our website, radicalawarenesssocal.com. And, hey, what grand and glorious adventure can we have on that day? We have early bird tickets available, so please go check it out. And I just want to be the invitation for everyone who's listening to choose something different. Be different. Be you. The world is ready, and the world requires it. And there is a whole heap of people out there who would love to support you in that. Go find them. Ask for them to show up in your life. We're out there, and we're ready and willing to be there and support you. My website, liveyourdreamlifenow.com. I'm not doing so much private work right now because I'm doing a lot of traveling and teaching internationally, but if you require my assistance, I would so love to be there for you. So you can check out all that information on my website, and I'm just so grateful for you, Al, for the opening and the opportunity to share this work with you, and for Access Consciousness for just being them. And
thank you for
thank
you for those kind words. And for the audience, let's allow the year 2014 to be all that it can be. Contact me at al.diazforlove@gmail.com to remember your purpose and natural born gift. Remember, Saturday, May 17th in Southern California, Radical Awareness, SoCal.com. It's going to be an event, or no, it is an event that will radically change your life, and it's time, and you deserve it. Thank you all for joining us, and remember that everything in our past, present, or future is for our best and highest good. Wherever you are at, have a great day or wonderful evening. Patty Alfonso, you are amazing, you rock, and thank you for being a joyous blessing in our life.
Thank you, Al, to everyone's amazingness. Yay!
Have a good day. Take care.